Hi and good evening to Madam Sarah and my teammates. So today, me and my teammates, which is Ebi Layang and Liana Anagjunit from Group 5, TSLB1, will present our lesson plan for Task 2. So, here is our lesson plan. Our lesson plan is for a year 3. The theme is Word of Self, Family and Friends, and the topic is My Best Friends. Our focus skill is reading, and the complementary skill is writing. Here is the main content standard. We choose 3.2, which is understand a variety of linear and non-linear print and digital text by using appropriate reading strategies. While the complementary content standard is 4.2, which is communicate basic information intelligibly for a range of purposes in print and digital media. The main learning standard is 3.2.1, which is understand the main idea of short simple text. And the complementary learning standard is 4.2.1, uh, which is express simple opinions. So in the lesson plan, the learning objective is by the end of the lesson, pupils will be able to, number one is identify at least three main ideas from the short story text, and two, write 6 sentences about their best friends correctly. And the success criteria is number one, identify the main idea of a short text about a best friend. Number two is answer at least 3 out of 5 simple comprehensions questions correctly. And number three is write one and two short sentences expressing a simple opinion. Uh, uh, for example, like I like my best friends because. So we moving on to the pre-lesson, which is set inductions.
So for the pre-lesson is set induction. It takes 5 minutes for teacher to teach the student. And then we can look here the teaching procedures. Number one, teacher shows some picture about best friend. And then teacher ask them who are their best friend and why. You can see the picture at the material about the best friend. So this picture will be for the clue of what they will be learned for that day. And then the teacher can ask the student from this picture, for example, who is their best friend and why. And then from this picture also the teacher can attract the pupils' attention because this is about best friend. They will be have more idea to talk about this. And then we moving on to the instructional language. Good morning class, and then look at this picture and what you understand from this picture. Do you have your best friend? And who is your best friend? And then for the CCE that will be applying here is language and technology. And the strategies is material based learning. When the teacher will give the material and the student will answer what the teacher asked by using the picture. So we can see the material will connect to the what will teacher ask the student. And then we will moving on to the pre-reading.
Okay, so we move to the lesson development, which is have three stages. And first is pre-reading, while reading, and then third is post-reading. So our activity one for pre-reading, which is for 15 minutes, teacher provide a picture with short story about this friend. So the teaching procedures here is teacher gives the short story about best friend to pupils, and then the teacher let the pupils to read the story silently. After that, the teacher asks. So here, teacher will give 5 minutes for student to reading, and for low level student, I teacher have to give more time for them to read. For example, for intermediate and high level student, we give them 8 minutes to read, and no 5 minutes for intermediate high level student to read, and 8 minutes for low level student to read. So the instructional language used here is today we will read a short story about best friend, and then what you understand about this story and what this story about. So after 5 to 8 minutes times for student to read the text, teacher have to ask the student what the pupils understand about the story, and what the story they read about mean. What do the pupils understand about the story, and what the story about. So moving on to while reading stages.
Okay. For the while reading stages is it takes in about 20 minutes. So here is the teaching procedures. So first, teacher will give them a text about best friend. And can we look at the material text? Uh, as we can see here, the materials, which is three different texts uh, with a same title. And the teacher will give the material for each student with low, intermediate, and high level students. So the low level student will receive a simple text, which is a simple text and support to identify main ideas, making the task accessible. And here, as we can look at the low-level student text, the text is short, simple, and of course, it is suitable for low-level students because it is easy to them to read and identify the main idea from it. And the second material is for intermediate student. So the intermediate student level will receive this text, which is the text is more complex, and the comprehensions questions and the encouragings will be deeper understanding. So the intermediate student will to uh, have more analyze than the low level students. And the third material text is for high level students. As we can look here, the text is full, and it's will in and it's of course for the low or high level students, it is more complex, and the student have to analyze the information from the text so they can understand and get their main idea from it. So back to the teaching procedures. After the teacher give students the text, the teacher will ask the student to identify the main idea from the text. So every student, which is the low level, intermediate student, and high level student, have to uh, identify the main idea from their text. And after they identify the main idea from the text, the teacher will give them a worksheet, which is a mind map worksheet. The student have to pull in the circle or the mind map to from the text, which for the main idea they get from the text. So the instructional language will be like this. Number one is let read the story together again. And number two is I will give you a text for your level, which is in this part, the teacher will give the student the text that's suitable for their level. And number three is you need to identify the main idea here. After the teacher give them a text, teacher will uh, ask them to identify the main idea from the text. And number four is what is the main idea of this paragraph? And the five is now read the rest on your own. After they get the main idea from the text and identify the main idea to the mind map, the teacher will ask students to read the text by their own. So the high level thinking skill here we use is, can you scroll down? Is number one is analyzing, number two is evaluating, and number three is applying, which is with the three hots here. Analyzing, which is the student have to analyze the text from the text to get the main idea, and evaluating is the student have to uh, understand deeper, encourage deeper understand from to the text so they can get the main idea. And the third is applying, which is the student have to applying the main idea from the text to mind map. And the CCE is number one is language, and number two is communication. The strategies that teacher use is number two is material based learning, which is the teacher will use the material text to for the strategies. And number two is collaborative learning. So we move on to post reading.
And the post reading is about 15 minutes. So we can see the teaching procedure here. The teacher will show an example before they ask students to write sentences by using the main idea. The pupils will be write their own sentences using the main idea, and then the teacher also support the students with word bank, especially for low-level student. And for low-level student, they will be asked to fill in the blank sentences using a word bank. And then for intermediate student, they will fill in the blank and find their answer. And for high student, they will be write the short reflection paragraph based on the story. Okay, we can see the different worksheet here. The first one is for low student. As we know, low student is the student which have limited or no knowledge in English. For example, their not their knowledge for this subject is limited, so they need for teacher to guide them. So for this worksheet, we can see the fill in the blank question when the teacher prepare for low student prepare answer, and then the low student will be read the question and find from this multiple choice. For example, the first one is my best friend is, by when the teacher put the multiple choice here, it will be help the low level student to find their answer and then complete this fill in the blank question, because we know the low level student will be or maybe struggle with understanding and using the basic vocabulary. And then by preparing this kind of question, this will be help the student to improve their vocabulary and their reading skill. And then for the task number 2 is for intermediate student. The teacher will prepare the same question, fill in the blank, but for this assessment or worksheet, the teacher will not given the answer like the low student. As you can see here, the number one question is I am, and then fill in the blank for every moment we spend together. For this question, the intermediate student need to read again the text that the teacher will give them to find this answer for this question. Not like the low level, the teacher prepare the answer and the pupils need to choose it. As we know, the pupil in intermediate level is they can understand and use the common vocabulary and sentences and structure, not like the low level student, they have limited for the vocabulary. And then for this task, this will be help the intermediate student for them to think what is the answer is, and then read again to improve their reading skill to find the right answer. And then the last one is the task for high level student. For this assessment or worksheet, the teacher will give the title for them to write a short reflection paragraph. The title is best friend, and then the sentences or paragraph is 5 and until 7 sentences, and then the instruction is the student need to write about their own best friend or someone is special to them. So the paragraph is include this clue. The number one is who your best friend is and what makes them special, and activities you enjoy doing together and how they make you feel and why you are thankful for them. The high level student will be need to complete this task by using their own word to create the short reflection paragraph. But the teachers still need to guide them by include the answer or clue like who is your best friend to help them to think about what will they write. The student with high level is the student that very good understanding of grammar and wide range of vocabulary, which means the student is in this level, they have the full or they good understand and can make a correct grammar during the make the task or complete any question that teacher gives. So for this level, the task or assessment that suitable for them is like this: create the or write the short reflection by using their own word, but the teacher guide them by put the clue here. And then we can see from this three level, as we know that pupil in our class is not in the same level. So as the teacher, we need to prepare the different type of question so that they can learn together about what the topic is. But if we not prepare the three level for the task, for example, we prepare also for high student. So for intermediate and low student will not able to answer or try to find the question because the uh, the assessment or the worksheet is suitable for only for high student, so that the low student and intermediate student will not able to join the learning season. So for the instructional language is, listen everyone, I will give you the worksheet. The teacher will give the three types of the worksheet for student to complete that's suitable for the level. And then the host here, you can see the analyzing, applying, and grading. And then analyzing, the teacher read the text and then complete and find the answer. And applying for high student, they will apply the clues here to create a paragraph or short reflection. And creating also, they use their own word to create the short reflection. And then the CCE is thinking skill, language, and values. And the strategy that using here is material-based learning. For example, when the student need to read first the material that the teacher prepare to complete the question that will be given to them. So we can see the connect between the material and then the assessment because the pupils need to read first. And then project-based learning, when for high student, when they create the new one, the paragraph or the short reflection, it means they not use the sentences that has given, but they create their own word to write the new sentences by using the clues that teacher give to guide them. Okay, we will moving on to the closure.
So the closure is for 5 minutes, and teaching procedure here is before end the class. Teacher asks the pupils what they learned today, what they learned on the day, and then choose one or two pupils to make simple reflection.
I'm sorry, Liana, you don't on your mic.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And closure here is for 5 minutes. First, teaching procedure is asking pupils what they learned on the day and then choose one or two pupils to make simple reflection and then thank the pupils for their participation. The instructional language here is who wants to share their writing with the class, the writing during the writing activity which is reading, and then what new words did you learn today, and then thank you for your good work today. Well done. So the purpose of closure here, the purpose of closure activity here is to recap learning and build a sense of accomplishment. And then during pre-reading activity that we already explained is the purpose is actually builds understanding and prepares pupils for deeper reading before teacher continue with while reading activity and post reading activity. And then actually from pre-reading activity, pupils begin to identify the main idea from the short story given by the teacher. And then during while reading, the objectives achieved on this stage, which is the first objective is people demonstrate understanding of main ideas and answer comprehension question. So rationale for the assessment choices is to ensure fairness and inclusivity by making tests to proficiency levels, and the activity during while reading also to build confidence and success at all ability levels. And then the objectives achieved during post-lesson activity is that pupils will write 6 sentences about their best friend. So that means that our second objective achieved during post-lesson writing activity. So actually, the assessment work that provided by teacher during post lesson is low level pupils get scaffolded supported that helps them succeed, and then for intermediate pupils applies their skills with some guidance by the teacher, and then high level pupils develop independent writing and creativity. So the conclusion is this lesson encourages pupils to think about friendship through reading and writing. It is designed with materials that support engagement, scaffolding, and meaningful language use. And each activity during pre-reading, while reading, post-reading, tailored to ensure that all learners, regardless of their level, whether it is low level pupils, intermediate pupils, and high levels pupils, can participate, learn, and achieve the set objectives. And that's all from our group. Thank you.